The journey may be long, weary at times, scattering your dreams to the wind. A hand enters your life and pulls you from the isolated prison you've placed yourself in. I'm here to bring you to my sanctuary house. Welcome. Your new soul journey of self-love and deep healing begins.
Inside of me, it's a deep hole where I bleed. Oh, can I seal it? You're like an ocean without land, not a single grain of sand. I'm drifting on it, so cold yet warm. When you hold me, when you're close, I know.
I became part of the retreat team through pure circumstance, actually. My business partner was supposed to be doing the catering event for the retreat, and she wasn't able to, so she offered it to me. And so I took it, and then I came here not really expecting to get anything out of it besides the pleasure of cooking for people. So I left loving myself, releasing a lot of negative energy and shit that I had attached to myself. I feel like that's how it happened. And Vicky helped me a lot, let me cry it out. I was trying to section myself off because I didn't want to interrupt anybody else's healing. And then I kind of was able to get stuff for myself out of it just being alongside. It's really lightened my heart and changed my life. I'm happier with myself. I'm not as negative with myself. Hearing everybody else's stories and me realizing I don't want to keep living the same way and that I'm worthy of loving myself. I left the retreat lighter. Even though I had a good life, I have a great life, and I'm very loved by lots of people, I didn't love myself, and it was really hard to realize that. And it's something I have to keep practicing, but Moon helped me, and Vicky helped me, and the team helped me realize that's what I needed to do. So I can be not dealing with the same stuff over and over and over again. I felt and was invited to, I felt it necessary to do some of the meditations and the work that they were doing. And the one where we did a circle where we were talking to our higher selves about loving us, and the hug. And I just stood there sobbing. This was like, this is the first time I loved myself. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. No, it's good. I'm crying more this fucking retreat than I could ever fucking do. Jesus Christ. And now I have makeup all over my face. And I'm gonna look like orphan fucking Amy. The retreat has helped me in my own healing journey because a lot of it was, I was just thinking about the physical. What am I eating? Well, am I not exercising? Not any of this in here. And now I feel like I can do more of the work necessary. And in my life, I can notice a difference when it comes to situations about standing up for myself and speaking up and stuff. And sometimes if you continue to ignore the people who are helping you, either in your life or up here, your guides, they will decide to do things like whenever you're unloading the dishwasher and there's forks sticking up, they'll stab you just so you pay attention. I rarely stab myself on any of the silverware whenever I'm putting stuff away, but I stab myself. And as soon as I stabbed myself, and after I had let out some expletives, I heard Moon calling for me and said, hey, I've got a message for you. And it was something to the effect of, sometimes you have to feel pain to feel the emotions I've hidden underneath, because for a long time I buried everything because I didn't feel like my feelings mattered. Despite people who love me saying, hey, your feelings matter. We care about you. We love you. It wasn't something I could accept until I loved myself. And it makes me pay attention because I want to break the cycles that I know I do to myself. Then I got called back because apparently I just wasn't getting it enough. And I'm at the second retreat to stay on the path because it's constant. Working on yourself never stops. And I had to keep learning because I just want to do better. I don't want to have to deal with the same feelings over and over again. It's pretty freeing to not have that anymore. I believe in myself more this time than I did last time. That's for damn sure. And I do feel like I'm part of the team, but there's always, and I think that's something that you got. Because sometimes I get in my own head. I think you should just, cut off so you don't get hurt. And I don't want to do that anymore either, so. You're so beautiful. You're so beautiful. When Moon and I first met at her shop, I forgot what day the first meeting was going to be on, and she thought I was skipping out on her, and I wasn't. I'm just a forgetful bitch. And then we bonded like immediately in that office, calling each other brainless buddies. And it was at that point I was like, I really like her, and I want to be her friend. I like her. And so we talked a little bit, and then we did the retreat. I love her. She's my friend. She's my sister. I love you too. It's so hard for me sometimes. You know that I'm like, what's the word I'm looking for? Not analytical, but like what I see is what I see, and it's very black and white. It is what it is, and it is what it isn't. And there's no gray areas. And being here, I know. And then there's like more, and I'm like, I can't see it, but I know it. Fuck, you weren't. Fuck. Life is bigger than what you think. It's not just what you see. Oh, fuck. Anyway, life is more than what you see with my physical eyes. And sometimes that was hard for me to, like, get. And I don't always have to rely on stuff that's here that I can touch and feel. And there's shit otherwise that I can't see that will help me. I know that it feels stupid to say. You feel like the dumbest motherfucker in the world. Be like, I love myself. But that's just you holding yourself back because you deserve to love yourself. And it's very freeing to actually like yourself and to want to put yourself first. And like, before coming to this retreat, I've been gone away from my kids for, 6 days, 5 days, I don't know. Very many days, my kids and my husband. And even though I miss them, this is something I have to do for myself, and I'll be a better mom, I'll be a better wife. I'm just a better person if I love myself. Yes, I'm so happy that I came here.
For me, it's to get away from reality, the struggles, the fast pace, the electronics and technology, getting away from it all and being out in nature, around people, but away from all the hectic chaos. Being able to be my true, authentic self at the core of returning to who I am. Returning to that innocent, all-knowing being that is highly spiritual and not bombarded with all the bullshit that goes on in the real world that had me forget who the fuck I am.
Yeah.
So I used to connect with Jesus a lot. Then I stopped. The whole Maya thing took me away from spirituality. So I threw all of it out. When I started on the healing journey, I got into Reiki. I was guided to do a QHHT session. Maya was the one that facilitated that. That just opened a lot of memories and a lot of information to me. So I had the opening healing done with her, and that's when this whole twin flame, counterfeit twin flame journey started. So my thoughts just saturated around her, and it became like lust, wanting to be with her and I don't know why, but it was like all the memories, all the signs. I would ask the universe for a sign of she's my twin flame. Everything I asked for, I got. So the signs were there saying she is your twin flame. The whole thing was extremely chaotic. I felt like dying. I felt like killing myself. I ripped my heart out. Like the backside of my back would just be burning, and I went to a shaman. She healed the backside, then she had to do a soul retrieval for the heart because I threw it out. And I really was soulless and about to die. Like, I really just wanted to leave. I don't blame Maya at all. There's no blame. This is what I experienced. Even to this day, I don't blame her, but I don't seek anything from her. It's not her fault, but I'm also not looking for her. And through coming to this journey, I remembered a lot and tapped back into that. And then I started having memories of Jesus and other things, and remembering past lives, remembering who the players are, remembering that my mom is Mary Magdalene. I was her daughter. Just having that memory, and then a stronger connection after remembering who I am. With my guides, that was never an opportunity. There was never an opportunity to back out. I didn't know why I was coming, but it was never an option to back out. It's worth it to come. It's worth it to be uncomfortable and then find your soul tribe, find the healing that you need, find yourself and heal. In the beginning, a lot of times when we go into new situations, we're not going to know, and it's the fear of the unknown. It's not the fear of what's going to happen, it's the fear of unknowing, not knowing what's going to happen. And when you get here, you're surrounded by family and love. Tap back into the animal world. I communicate a lot with almost anything, even rocks. A lot of bees and a lot of spiders. And this retreat helped me tap back into all of that again. And I've got some great information on maybe writing books, following that, and then helping others. I love spiders, so it's like my happy place. A spider was going after my feet, and it was like, stay grounded. So, and I'm getting my footing. And then a spider is like creating a spider web, so it's like your creation, and then patience. And then with the bees are community. Flying like a bee, being up and above, and flying around to where I need to be, and finding the right community. Moon was terrified of bees, and she got to pet the bee that we helped bring back to life.
Look at him little hiding out in there. Okay, he's moving his one wing.
Mm-hmm.
There we go. Oh man, that is wild.
Oh, and you know what he did? He even calmed the rest of the energy in the room.
Mm-hmm. It's more subtle and it's not as prominent.
Cleaning himself. Yes, baby boy. Hi, baby boy.
Still wobbly.
Yes.
He's like, I'm a star.
They can't believe
You see his fuzzy?
they're so fuzzy.
Yeah. He's loving the sun. He's like, oh, yes. What do you want to do? If you want to go, go. If you want to go, go. It's up to you.
It's amazing. That's the heart. Oh my God.
He's trying.
Yeah.
He wasn't able to do that at all though when I first got him.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go, there you go.
So, there was a bee that was basically on its way out. Moon saw the portal. We saw it on the video that there was a portal open for the bee to go home. And they came and got me. I put the bee on my hand and I was talking to him and I told him, if you want to go, go. You don't have to stay here. And he sat on my hand getting the energy. Moon put her hand over mine. And he was teeter-tottering. Should I stay or go? And I let him know it's up to him. So he's... At certain points I felt like he did leave and then he came back. Because he was very teeter-totter. Wasn't sure. And then I told him we would hold space for him. So whatever he chooses, we will still hold space for him. So... he gave me the insight to go get a raspberry. Went and got a raspberry, put a raspberry with him, and put my hand back over. When the raspberry touched him, he started buzzing. And then he put his head into the raspberry. And then I put my hand back over him, and then the energies shifted. It was like a nice swirl and mix of energy, and it felt like he was getting the energy from the raspberry, and then he was also eating the raspberry. We did more energy work on him for maybe half hour. He didn't want me to put him down. He said, but if you put me down, then you have to put me in your bra, like next to your heart. And so I did. So I put the little thing right here, put 3 crystals in there. Did that for like maybe half hour, laid down, it opened up. He walked out onto my chest and like buzzing. So I picked him back up and then went into Moon's room. He started cleaning himself and they were recording him. So he's like, I'm a star. And so it was really cute. Then I was like, well, he gets better pictures outside. So then we went outside. Moon pet him several times, and it was so cute because he was just like, okay, all right, I know. Yeah, it was beautiful. Then he sat up and started really gaining himself, and then started walking around, and he took off and flew away. So I remember when I was a kid. I would say, Jesus Christ, and he's like, what, my child? He's like, yes, my child. That's the answer I always got. And so then when I cut him off, I didn't really get that response. And then when I connected with him again, it was, yes, my child. And then I felt hugged and surrounded by him. And because of this retreat, I feel him in and around me constantly. So it's even stronger than before the whole Maya incident with the connection to Jesus. Sadie's my service dog. She's my goofy one, so she makes me laugh in life. My last service dog was Sarah. She was more serious and highly intelligent. This one is a goofball. She keeps me on my toes and she gets me out of the house and makes me walk 5 miles a day. Sarah and I were always telepathic with each other. We have a deep soul bond. She always knew what I was thinking. I pretty much knew what she was thinking. And when I didn't realize what she was thinking, she would implant it in my mind. And then I learned Sarah was my sister in another life. So this is a repeat where, because Sarah always felt like a younger sister to me as a service dog, as a dog. I always had that connection with her, like we feel like family. And through this retreat, I realized she was my sister in a past life.
I wish I would have got that off film. That was great. What are you doing, Sadie? You are killing me, dude.
I told you, she's my goofball.
She sure is.
She's
just like, what?
Yeah, what do you what? I'm sorry. She is such a goofball. Go ahead, sorry.
Yeah. Sarah picked that one. During that time, I was so serious in my life and just fucking miserable and not wanting to be here again. And Sarah told me, your next dog will be a goofball because you need to laugh in life. I stopped going to the gym because 5 miles a day was enough. Because I used to not do 5 miles a day, but somebody has a lot of energy, so we have to do 5 miles a day. Because if we don't, then goofball becomes even goofier. So the channeling is Mary Magdalene. That channeling was so special. It was so heartfelt, sincere. I tapped deeply into it. Such wise words. Very compassionate, very loving. She knows all of us, and she sees the best in all of us. She knows what we're dealing with and struggling with. Her advice is great. It's spot on. Her comments are spot on and right. I just know sometimes it's hard to carry out the advice. I love that aspect of being here, that I can't get that anywhere. And then being around Moon, the other ones, I mean, yeah, it's still family, but being around Moon, it's different. I mean, some of the crazy shit that we got to go do was, like, I don't go to graveyards because I don't know which ones to trust and how to protect myself from followers, so I don't go. Plus, it's a respect of, why would I go and stir shit up when I don't, I probably should stay out. We went to a graveyard, and Moon told me, hey, that guy over there is saying hi, and his flag broke off and was in the ground. So I went over to him and put my hand on the ground and started communicating with him. And then I put his flag back up. And I'm a veteran in this life. All of a sudden I stood up and started saluting, and I don't salute, but I stood up there and started saluting. I looked him up, and his end days of service was on Maya's birthday, but then the year is my birthday. And so I felt like a major connection. I think one of the battles he was in Fredericksburg, Virginia, and I live in Virginia right now. And I feel like he kept calling me comrade. And we've been in many, and he said conflicts. We've been in many conflicts together. That would make sense too, because it's not always a war, it's a conflict. I'm so grateful we went there. And I was not gonna go. I was just gonna stay and chill out. And then Moon's like, come on, let's go. So I went, and it was so magical talking with him. And then in the ceremony last night, another military member came in. Later on I realized who she was talking about, because we don't go by first names, we go by last names. Plus I knew him for less than a year, but I really didn't know him. And he was like, yeah, she was one tough bitch, or one tough bitch. Like this morning I kept seeing his face, and I'm like, oh, it was you, okay. Because of this whole retreat, I was able to see, one, how many people I impact. Two, because she brought it up, it allowed me to dive deeper into communicating with them. And because she brought those people up, I felt safe to communicate with them. But yeah, so this retreat is so different. The people, we're all soul family. Connecting deeper with Jesus, that I cut him out of my life. I don't regret it. It's a learning experience. I'm grateful that I've stopped. I'm grateful that I let him back in. I'm grateful that I forgave. This whole retreat, a lot of it was around forgiveness and seeing the good of situations. This retreat, you could do anything you wanted, pretty much. Most church types ones, they want you to follow the priest. The priest is the leader. The priest is the one in charge. And even like the other spiritual ones, They want you to pay attention to the leader. Moon, it was a lot more relaxed. We had a lot of leeway and freedom. Food was amazing. I loved it. I love the meat. She was an amazing chef. You can tell she cooked with love and joy. Non-processed food. Coming in, I thought it was gonna be a pain in the ass. I was like, shit, I better bring all my food because it's gonna be processed spaghetti and everything else. And I got here and everything is fresh, which really surprised me. And I'm so grateful that I ate every meal I ate here. Because normally on other retreats, it's like I have to pick and choose because my body is like, don't eat that shit. But here, I actually ate every meal. And my body was extremely happy. Like, I don't have any inflammation from the food. And the food tasted great, too. I feel like I've returned to who and what I am. Transformed, absolutely. Yes. Even though I saw a butterfly this morning. And the message was, your transformation is complete. So it was a yellow butterfly. And I know there's a lot more, there's always more work to do. But as far as this retreat, that transformation is complete. I did get a lot out of this.
Went through a rough relationship, and it was kind of something that I thought was right, but wasn't right for me. I thought it was my fault. Had a lot of self-guilt. Should have done this better, should have done that better. Moved back home, it was a complete mess. And out of the blue, I'm like, hey mom, you still have, you know that friend that you went with, the medium? He goes, yeah, I do, I could reach out to her. Reached out, come in, I'm like, sure. Made the drive, had my first session, and it helped me in so many ways and like changed my whole person in just, what was it, 2-3 hours that it was. And did a cord cutting, and that night went back after I got back home, kind of felt relieved. Felt like a lot has been removed, and I kind of felt like I could think clearer and could see that it wasn't, things weren't my fault or because of me, it's because the other person too had their own world of crap going on that was just very dark and deep, that there was no way that nothing I could do could ever change what they had going on. I signed up for the retreat. I look very excited for it, even though I was like, I'm the young one and there's a bunch of old people here, but it's the greatest experience ever. It's like different personalities, but they all mesh, is what I experienced. And like, I'm glad I came here because it's like this week has been not a week. It felt like it's like a month and year. Like the time.
Yeah, we're just gonna ignore that.
Yeah.
Keep going.
Okay. The time that's you spend here doesn't feel like you're just here for a week or you're doing this day, that day. It just feels like you're meant to be here. It's just set in stone. You're here to do this one day, and then you're doing this the next. You're moving at your soul's moving at its own pace, and you're finding your way, your gifts. You're realizing more about yourself. You're understanding why you're here, and then ultimately your purpose and your goals in the retreat. Somebody agrees with me.
Talk about the attic exercise and how it helped you with your gifts. I'm just ignoring that shit. Dude, it's too much. They're just like all over the place right now. We're gonna get to why and who it is.
The first night we're sitting here, and we kind of had like we were just kind of talking, like breaking the ice a little bit, is what I call it, spiritually breaking the ice. And you made me point to where the angel was and where he was at, and like that for me kind of opened my mind and like body up to like, oh crap, like I can actually feel and experience this. Like it's not just something I was thinking of, or not something I was think I'm crazy for looking or feeling. 2 days later, up in the attic with the little kids, when we're all sitting there feeling for the energy of who they're drawn to and who they're most in contact with. Really, that put it in perspective for me. Is of sitting there with my eyes closed, being able to feel this little kid in front of me and see him and him kind of talk, but at the same time him showing a bigger and more tough character because he was scared. It was drawn to me because the night when the power went out and we were out looking in the flash of the light, he was drawn to my light, both physically and I guess spiritually. And when we're up here in the attic and just, what was it, the 6, 7 of us up here, and the connection that like you could feel through all of us, even if the people in the back really didn't experience the children themselves, but you could still feel that they were experiencing the energy. They could feel what was going on. And with my gifts, talk to the boy, see the boy, hear the boy. And the same thing with Rose, being able to not communicate, but at the same time still see and feel what they were doing. And with Moon being able to kind of guide us through that whole experience was good and really brought the light. And especially being able to see Moon and her sword and the angel come down to them and guide them off to where they need to be, up to heaven, because they were just lost here for how many years. It's moving to me, well, not emotionally, but just spiritually. It was like, okay, I could get used to this. Like, it felt good. Yeah. I learned about a lot of past lives, like not even of my own, like just, I learned about myself, my personal past lives, but I've learned about the past lives of the other attendees here and staff, to the spirits around. I guess I'm grateful enough they feel comfortable enough to come to me and show me, this is who I am, this is who I was, this is what happened to me, this is my story. Mary, who was the one girl that was following me since the power went out, up on the hillside, I could feel her presence, to going down where there's a shed in woods, feel her there, for her to leave, and then for me to get drawn to a cabin where there's a little tinkering toy sitting in the shelf and the cabin's empty. And I sat there and I could feel her watching me, like looking through the door, and then she ran off because I guess she was lost from her group. And then once it comes full circle with finding out about the orphanage fire, thinking back on it now, it's a lot more than, you take it for granted when you're in the moment. And you look back on it, you're like, I was able to understand this person's life. Kind of like speed dating, put it this way. They come to you real quick, you learn a little bit about them really fast, and they come back again. And then you go out again, and then by the time you get to know them, they're like a good friend. And then I learned about my past lives and how I have 2 sisters that were at the retreat that I didn't even know about, and how we all meshed without knowing. I knew one before the other, and then the other one's a brat, but we all love her. You feel that connection with somebody, but you don't know. You're like, this person's kind of cool, we got something going on here, but I don't know about you. But I was the middle brother between a younger sister and older sister. It's like that connection, and then when you put them 3 together, it's like, wow, this feels right. The sisters are, Moon's the my oldest sister. I'm the middle brother, and then Lauren is the younger sister. Susie is Lauren, the younger sister. My name is Benjamin, the middle brother, and then Moon, Fiona, is the older sister, and we were siblings, and we had that kind of feel that Moon was the mom of us, and called me little shite, and Lauren little brat, because she really is a little brat. As soon as like that was said, it like the energy shifted, and it was like, okay, we're not going back to being like, everybody's here, we're gonna be over here. Like, sending it over the top, the energy, the connection, Evelyn and Vicky, feeling connected to them, even though like their souls aren't related, but they are at the same time. Like there's that bond that our souls have, even though it's not like that past life, living together, experiencing life together, it's still that bond. The same thing goes for Marion. I think it's just her personality type. She's just that loving grandmother. She's like the Goldilocks. She's just like just right. She'll take anything, like regardless of what it is. She'll sweet, perfect, and just, it's like one of those things that you have to experience to really truly feel, but it's a blessing once you feel it. You're my little brother. I'm your bigger sister.
What?
Door just fucking opened.
I know. We just gotta push past it, dude. It's fucked up.
It says, with the children, it kind of, yes, I'm talking about you. With the children, it started the first night here. We lost power. Evelyn and Vicky woke me up. Hey, can you come helping us with the breaker? I'm like, sure. Hop in with the breaker. Come up here. We're like, something's off. Let's just go sleep it off. Like, wait in the morning, wake up, the power will be back on. We'll forget about this night. Well, I go down, lay out, and I hear a kid calling me, help, help. I'm like, I'm just tired. Like, there's no way in God's green earth I'm hearing this right now. And it's pitch black in the middle of nowhere. There's not gonna be a 7-year-old kid walking around. And I hear it again, help, help. And it's like a crying help, not like just like a help. It's like a help, like I'm crying, sobbing. And I come up here, I'm like, anybody else hear that? I'm like, no. I just heard a kid crying. And then they come to find out that was the kid we helped in the attic. He was drawn to my light. Came to me to get to Moon to get to where he needed to be and be rescued. The other day I was standing out on the balcony looking out into the hills, and before I had the vision of children, Jesus came to me, kind of showed me we were dealing with a little bit of darkness around here. He came to me through a cross shadow, and then came through the cross and came and kind of like was like, I'm here, it's gonna be okay, the dark's gonna go away, I'm around here, I'm not letting this shit happen. And went back and turned into a big bright gold eagle, and could see like the dark just subsiding as the eagle flew towards me. And then the kids came to me, and the best way I can describe it was like an old projector slideshow of them just turning a wheel. I could see them walking by me and looking down on me. And then I could see a girl who was must be from the orphanage fire, who had, her eye was popped out, burnt on her side of her face. Her hair was singed in the front and black, but her hair was long and gold going down the back. I could see a little girl sitting at her desk in all white, like she was writing a letter or doing schoolwork. And they were just kind of there showing me like, hey, this is what we are. This is who we are. And they kind of gave me a glimpse of like what time period they were from. They were much older souls. Going back to Mary, who was the girl who was in a red dress, polka dots, blonde hair. And she was making me follow her from place to place throughout the property. I was getting Maya, I thought her was her name at first. And then later to find out, we're working with Moon. We found about an orphanage fire that happened. And Maya came to Moon as well. And Moon got Myra. We started working with who we thought was Myra to learn more about the orphanage fire, and to find out there was a bunch of kids that died throughout the fire through measles, whooping cough. There was multiple fires up there, and there was one catastrophic fire in 1888 that killed a lot of death. And we found a roster. We found her last name was, she told her last name was Robinson, and we found a Mary Robinson who was 9 years old when the fire happened. That fitted her description. And that night Moon channeled, and all the kids came to her. It started out as like 100 kids, grew to like 230 some kids, grew to 300, and like there was like 500 kids at one point. That's when we were talking with Mary throughout that. By the time we came back, there was like, there's 3 kids left. They're stubborn souls. They'll be back in 2 days' time. Moon's gonna come back. Day goes by, we do some research. We find that the orphanage that burnt down was right over the backside of the hill from where the cabin was. And the activity was coming from there. We were drawn to, there was a hot tub, and right from the back of the hot tub, it felt like there was just constant energy. And there's, yes, thank you. Mary gave us names of other kids that was with her. We found Edith's name on the list. We found the Jacobs. And it really confirmed that these spirits are really who they say they are. We found a local cemetery that was founded in 1850, and we were...
Dude, it's just nonstop. Since we started. They are ridiculous.
Hey, really? Dude, I got like pinched on like the ankle.
I was gonna ask you, did you get pinched?
Yes.
I didn't want to interrupt you.
I got pinched. I got like not even like a thumb pinch. I got like the nail pinch too. Like, damn. We went to the cemetery and we were able to kind of find more answers there and get pointed.
Did you see that too?
Yes.
They were standing by the pots.
We went to the cemetery. We were able to find some answers there. With Moon.
We're not gonna get through this.
No, I hate to break it to you, sis. We've been at this for an hour and a half already.
What the fuck? Did you hear? Hello? What the fuck? There's no shadow under the door either.
I just saw fucking something go that way.
What in the world? We have to keep going. It's scary.
We're too powerful to be together.
Oh my god.
My back is like tingling now too.
My back was tingling when we started this shit.
Can I continue? Thank you. So we went to the cemetery. We found some names in that were related to the orphanage fire. Did you hear that?
Yeah. I know you're talking, but I'm looking around and I keep hearing talking.
So do I. So do I.
It's like
It's like they want to talk too.
I know, they have like their own little conversations going.
Like you missed something.
Well, I think the reason they're acting up is, oh, I just saw this. Somebody went past the flowers down there and the little leaf moved. Did you hear that? That was like the running downstairs.
That's why I heard the deck.
I know.
Last night on the deck. When you were here, they were just running there. And then I hear like they're coming up the steps, and I walk the steps, and they would run the opposite way. I'm like, okay, guys.
Just stop.
I'm like, Sadie, is that you?
No.
Sadie's looking at the door. I'm like, and I walk in here, and they're.
We heard running last night, but I think what they're doing is they want you to talk about last night.
Yeah,
So
I'm getting there. Shine's gonna be coming.
Wait, what'd you just say?
Your moment to shine up. This is why we've been here for an hour and a half. Between you and the fucking kids. Didn't we have the fan speed up?
I know, I thought that was going faster, but I just wasn't sure.
It's fucking shaking.
I know. They ripped down the canopy in her room. It's everywhere.
It is. This is not fucking stop. Look at it.
I know.
It's like they're almost sitting on it just.
Yeah.
And I say that and it goes more. And the weird part is there's not a lot of airflow in too.
They're fun. They do stuff and it's just funny.
But yeah, get back to going to the cemetery. Okay. I see you in the corner.
Over by the canopy.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, did you hear them touch the window?
Mm-hmm. I heard the little. Yeah.
That fan did, because I just got a huge breeze. That did speed up.
Yeah.
Maybe because I keep saying in my head, I'm hot. I need to take the sweater off.
Getting back on track, going to the cemetery. seen the names there. We had we experienced sticks on the ground with a K, and we thought it was an I, which turned out being out was the back coordinates of the cemetery. Where there were spirits just chillaxing back in the woods, enjoying the water, watching us. Like, hey, we're over here. Don't go looking over there. Even though we're marked over there, we ain't gonna be over there. We're gonna be over here, enjoying the day. Dude, I got so thrown off by them.
Do you know why they knocked on that door?
Why?
Because remember what I was doing all night last night? I was doing... Do you remember? And it was 3 knocks because he just told me he was repeating what I did last night back to us.
He was...
I know, it was 3 knocks. It was 3 knocks because I kept doing 3 knocks last night.
It sounds like he's like in water.
Oh my god, the sink. It sounds like the sink is on. I'm going to look. I'm going. I swear to God. Dude, that's water in the sink.
Yes! I want a glass too, please.
Oh my god. This is ridiculous. He's getting closer. He's getting more daring. Well, as you can see, we didn't get through that interview. The reason we had Sebastian's interview edited this way was to kind of show you the reason why his interview ended abruptly and it wasn't completely finished like everyone else's was. The energy just kept spewing up and had gotten worse around us, and we finally I kind of put a kibosh to it. I said, you know what, we got to be done with this because it's just going to get worse. And he kept seeing children running past him, and there was children running around down on the bottom level. Somebody turned the water on. The water obviously wasn't on because I took the camera over to the sink, but you could still hear the water running when I did that. And then we had a reply knock, which was a day late, by the way. But it was funny how these children like to play around with the energy to make sure that they're noticed. I made sure that everybody was out of the house. The cameras tend to pick up the tiniest little noise, and I couldn't have anybody in the house disrupting his interview, which is why I did Rose's outside, and which I did Marion's outside. I wanted to just have that silent moment with Sebastian. His interview was only supposed to be 15-20 minutes, pretty quick. Ended up being almost 2 hours because the activity was just that intense and he kept getting disrupted. So we abruptly had to stop the interview. When we started getting into the whole children's experience and spirits with that, because he did a lot of research, Vicky and him combined did a lot of research, Rose helped. They were able to find a roster of names of the children that I was seeing, the children that were showing themselves to Sebastian. Some of the kids were playing around, like Mary, for instance. She showed him Maya, and she showed me Myra. But her real name, if you switch the letters around, was Mary. So she was playing around, and that's why she pinched him. She was like, use my real name. So I thought that was interesting that she pinched him right when we were talking about it. I thought that was very interesting how they were playing around with the energy and messing around, and then hearing her laugh, when she pinched him, and being able to get that on the microphone, which picks up everything. And it sounded like she was on the lower level when she had done that noise. Sebastian's journey was full of doubt. He knew he was getting things before the retreat, but he just, washed them away as if they were nothing. So for him to be able to get confirmations with me backing up what he was seeing, because I was also seeing and getting things as well, he felt more comfortable in his gifts. Even though he's very young in his gifts, very naive in his gifts, I feel deeply that he's going to get to that point where he's able to do more with it. He is a volunteer fireman, so I do feel that Spirit's going to help him see things before they happen, that he's going to be shown and guided certain things to help him in his field of study. So I'm very proud to be a part of that journey with him. I don't think the retreat is the end for us. I have decided to kind of tag him along part of the team so he can learn more about his gifts and what he can do with them and how he can help the retreat attendees with it.
What brought me to the retreat was basically my cousin Evelyn, because I saw how beautiful she looked and her whole demeanor was different, and she says, you have to do this. So after much consideration and deliberation, I decided this would be my path, and I'm so glad I did. I came in here expecting a lot, but I got so much more than I thought I would get. Was overabundant. Finding my inner self and my inner child and putting whatever trauma I had in the past away so I could move on and become the person that I always was underneath. The retreat changed me in a sense that I'm open more to seeing new things and learning new things and not being afraid of what could be out there. When you're with your soul family, you're protected. During the retreat, my dad came through for me, and we ironed a lot of things out. My maternal grandmother, Stina, came through, and her husband, Peter Maniscalco, came through. I never knew Peter because he passed away long before I was born. My sweetheart, Rex, had told me many times he would love me no matter what size I was. He told me I was eating too many chocolate kisses, and he'll kiss me instead. So I'll take that. It's a fair change. My walking has greatly improved since I came here to Moon's Retreat, not like it was before. I think whatever pain I have in my knees now is because my knees are old, not because I'm ill. And I'm feeling so much better inside too. I'm walking less without a cane or a rollator, and I'm able to get around a little bit on my own where I couldn't at all before. I've been in hot tubs before, but never where I felt shaky as much as I did since this all happened. And once I got in, it was wonderful. My legs felt good. All my family, my soul family here in Moon's group would not let me drown, which I was very grateful for. If I were talking to someone about this retreat and the benefits, I would say definitely come, because you don't know what your own body is capable of doing. Because if you just sit there and moan and do this and be negative towards yourself, you're never going to be better. And this retreat taught me to look forward to better things, and the other ones, just throw them away. We had a very bad storm one night, and then another one a day or two later, where we lost power and we lost electricity and we lost water. But we had our candles and we had each other and we had our laughter, and we just got through it all. And no one got frightened or scared. We were just, like it was a slumber party when we were 17. I mean, it was just, we just rolled through the night, and when it came on, we applauded. We were happy. And everyone pitched in to help. No one was there and left anyone alone, and we were just there to support each other. One night we did the singing bowls, and we listened to all that healing music, which I just love to listen to, because I don't hear the music when a person plays it. I hear the tones. Not that I'm a fancy musician, but I just absorb tones, and then it all blends together. And I really love that. When we had the outages and we had no water, we still did our healing. It never stopped. Moon read cards for us. We drew pictures of our auras and how we felt about them. We did not have 1 minute just sitting there in the dark watching the candles burn. We got so much healing over those 2 days that even as bad as my legs were, I was taking normal strides when that was over. I wasn't taking itty-bitty shuffle off the buffalo steps. Also during this retreat, we were discussing different types of healing, and I'm a Reiki master teacher and practitioner. I've had cancer 4 times, but after one of them, I healed myself from, and then I went into Reiki and I learned how to do what I did to myself without any training. But you're among like-minded people, you could learn so much from them, from different techniques they use, whether it's hands-on or hands-off. I like to use crystals and oils. When I heal, before I start a session, I play on my tongue drum and I try to get a nice vibration. I could be next to a person, and I did it once when I was working as a legal assistant. I was notarizing papers for a client. She had Parkinson's disease, and instead of reading what I was supposed to do, all I wanted to do was hold her and hug her. And that's when I realized that I just couldn't sit idle and notarize documents. I had to hold her hand. In one of our conversations during the retreat, my spirit guides were directing me on a path to take. Reiki is not very well known down there, and what I plan to do when I go home is start meditation circles in our amenity center. And I was told by him that this, having the meditations and the moon circles that we do in front of my driveway on a full moon, to keep doing this. And my neighbor and I do our yoga to the moon, and we're getting more and more people there as we go along. Now I have my stepping stone, that I could do this, that I could walk. Even if I need a little assistance now and then, it's the difference in the pain is so different, so different.
Sebastian came to the retreat to heal a tragic relationship that he felt the experience was very negative, and he wanted to learn what kind of got him to that path per his trauma from past childhood things. But in his journey, we noticed that his gifts were being heightened, gifts that he wasn't fully aware until confirmation started happening during the retreat. Part of my gift is to accelerate other people's gifts, and you'll see that through his journey, and you'll see it through Rose's journey as well. Sebastian's a special case to me. He's still very young and naive in his gift, so he is still learning how to use it properly, how to confirm things. But he did say in his interview that he doubted himself a lot, that he just kind of wrote it off as it was nothing. And confirming some of this stuff for him was such a blessing, and that's how him and I kind of bonded together through that experience. Rose's case is very unique. This is the first time I've experienced someone that had a animal insect communication, and she did help me with my own journey with bees, because this body is very allergic to them. So for me to kind of pet a bee, she thought it was the cutest thing ever, and she had even acknowledged to me that that was a huge step for me. It was almost like she could read my energy, that she knew this was a huge step for me to take, to even put my finger on a bee that I know could blow up my tongue and my throat and not be able to breathe. So I felt safe in her energy with these bees and these insects, even the spiders. I even at one point picked up a spider, but it was on a piece of paper, but it was close enough for me to be like, wow, I would not normally do this. So I feel she brought a lot of insight and wisdom. I feel like she brought a lot of insight and wisdom to the retreat. Guys, it's not only just me guiding. I feel like the retreat individuals bring something amazing to each retreat that is their own, and it's unique and special, and we can all kind of sit back and enjoy that experience with them, but also learn a little something from them. And I did learn a great deal from Rose when it came to that stuff. I can hear the animals, but there's an instinct in the body that is just, yeah, you don't want to go near that because this thing can get injured. So I felt a little safe with her. It was like an extra buffer of safeness when she was around. So that bond between her and I was amazing to experience, and I'm very honored and blessed to be a part of that. Now, I'm not allowed implanting information, so it took Rose a little while to figure out who I was to her, and everybody knew not to say anything, even though other people were kind of catching on to it as we were going through the retreat in the process of it all. And just the one day she was sitting, we were over by the patio, and she was kind of sitting on the balcony area in the house. It's like a concrete kind of big ledge balcony, and I remember her popping off of it. She looked like she was in a long conversation with herself, and she popped off, came over and said, "You're my mom." And I said, and she goes, "Well, it just hit me. You're my mom." And I said, I said, "I couldn't implant that. You have to figure that out. I mean, even if it took like 5 more retreats to figure that out, I still could not implant that. That is something you and your guides have to do divine timing on and figure that out on your own. It's like puzzle pieces being put together. I cannot implant any of that." And I said, "Well, what do your guides say? You know, what lifetime?" Even though mostly everybody on the retreat knew what lifetime, because they were kind of picking up on the energy, I guess. Especially Vicky was kind of picking up on it, and Evelyn. She goes, "Jesus time." And it just snowballed from there. Our energy just took a whole new height. And then to have the insects involved in all of this, it was remarkable. I don't really know how I'm going to top this retreat, to be honest with you. I'm sure we will, but this one took the cake for me. The experience I had with Rose was phenomenal, and I'm forever grateful that she listened to her guides and just went all in and just was like, okay, I'm listening to my guides, because she wasn't going to come to the retreat. She kept pushing it away, and they kept putting it in her face on YouTube, because she doesn't really go on Facebook. So the video that we made of the testimonials of last retreat really came full force at her, and she joined, attended, and that was it for her. And I'm grateful that she listened to her guides and followed their path with all this. Rose had a bad experience with a past healer, so I'm very grateful to her for allowing me to be able to show her another way of healing, and trusting in me with that. When she first came to the retreat, she was very not there. There was a blocker. It took a couple days for her to trust everyone, especially me being the person guiding her through all of this. So I do feel very grateful to her for being open to that experience and allowing me to help her get past the trauma from the past healer and seeing a different way of love through healing. When Rose first showed up, I didn't see a whole lot of like genuine authenticity when it came to smiling and laughing. And by the 4th day, to see her giggling and laughing and having fun was an aha wow moment to me. I was taken back by the experience of just watching her progress through the trauma and becoming who she truly was. And for her to save space for me and Sebastian as we were helping these children was amazing. She was able to kind of push healing onto us when we were hurting. She was there holding space of protection when it came to protecting me and Sebastian's energy. Like, she worked with the angels with that. It was just remarkable. And I'm starting to see that the retreat is not only helping individuals with deep trauma, but it's also helping them see their gifts and maybe something that was pushed under a rug or the people around them didn't allow them to experience in their lifetime. And by them coming to the retreat, it's now being revealed, and now I'm helping them embrace it. We're welcoming that gift into the sacred space of the retreat where they can relax and be who they are while experiencing this gift and using it properly. One of the things that Rose wanted to learn was protection, and I'm happy that I was able to show and guide her through that so that she can use it in her everyday life. And she was using it while she was at the retreat. She was right when she said things are more relaxed and flexible, because I try to keep to a schedule because I'm very organized, and spirit doesn't work that way. So the attendees had a lot of mental clarity where they could go into the nature and connect with their spirit guides, since they already knew and got to know their spirit guides one-on-one with certain meditations that I provide them during this retreat. So they do get that one-on-one space and time with their guides and their spirit team to kind of go over what they are experiencing and what they're guided to learn. With Marion's journey, this one gets me in the heart. It really does. She came in so crippled that we had to rearrange the bed situation because I thought she was able to go up steps. That did not happen. She could barely get up one step into the retreat that we caught on camera, thank God, to kind of show everybody how bad it was for her, how painful it was for her. She had several hip replacements and the body just went into cripple mode. And I started noticing that a lot of this had to do with losing her husband, and what was here kind of took over the body. And that is the whole point, is to get them out of here, see the clarity of what they're doing, because physical ailments come from spiritual holdback and the way the spirit is thinking through the human mind. And it is trying to realign that to get them to see that. It wasn't even the first day. I was in my bedroom getting ready for the day, and I got called into the kitchen, and she's just jiving and jingling around. And I was like, what? Wasn't even the first day. We did some meditations. We did a lot of work the night that they arrived. But the next day to wake up to breakfast and she's just moving around without her walker, because she had a cane and a walker. She was moving without her walker. At some point, she wasn't even using her cane. She would just get up and go walk. And we're just like, wait, what? What is happening? So it was mind-boggling to kind of watch her go through this process and see her just be like, yeah, I'm taking back control of my body. It was just, honestly, it was just amazing. The whole situation was amazing to watch. But I did hear Maria, my guide, telling me that a little bit more energy needed toxically removed. And the only way for me to do that is through what's called a surgical energy replacement, where I'm removing toxic energy and placing in light healing. This is very precise. Sometimes it can take up to 3 hours. It just depends on the person. And I'm not touching the skin. I'm seeing a mapping of where these toxic energies are. And they're like little teeny fibers of hair that are embedded into the etheric aura. It's really hard to explain, but I have to take something little, and I use a selenite wand with a point, and I'm able to get into the fibers and pull these pieces out. So on the video, you do see me like wipe away because I'm using a selenite rod to kind of make the fibers like do this, so I can see into the deeper fibers. So I'm like kind of doing this, and then I'm pulling away, and I'm kind of doing this, and I'm pulling away. So you kind of see this method. This went on for quite a while, and the next day was the day that she didn't use her cane, and I was like, well, there we go. So, and she's just so excited. I did just recently, yesterday, we haven't been to the retreat in 4 days, so I was getting these text messages from Evelyn, who is her family, and the family members are just in awe how she's just getting around and moving around. It's mind-boggling how she went from not being able to go up a step without 3 people helping her up one step to her going up the steps with no help whatsoever, not even with her cane, is mind-boggling to me. I am just the vessel. This is all spirit. This is all Marion and her mind and how she communicates with her spirit team and with her own higher self. I am just the vessel that can bring the alignment to the surface. What she does and what they do with her is up to them. And I'm so proud of her progress and how far she's come. And for her husband to stand by her from the other side and help her through this and to support her through this was amazing to watch. Sebastian bonded with me and Lauren. It was being revealed to me that we were all kind of siblings. I didn't get that on the last retreat with Lauren. I did feel that we were very bonded, but they weren't showing it to me. It's all about divine timing with spirit. I'm going to be honest. It's all about divine timing. And this was perfect divine timing. It truly was like being around a bunch of toddlers. I was constantly having to correct Lauren and Sebastian, who we call Benji. And I think one of the situations was there was a garbage wet sock that they were throwing at each other. It was like 9 o'clock at night, and they just were running around like stupid little kids throwing the sock at one another. And I finally had to step in and be like, you guys need to knock it off. Like, he was very right when he said I am the mama sister bear, where I had to step in and knock off the shenanigans. But it was very comical. It did make everybody laugh because it was like they were brother and sister, and she was the little sister kind of instigating everything and just kept going. It just kept going. We put Lauren into the testimonials because no one got to understand her journey from the last retreat. So I did throw in a little clips of her doing like the love circle ritual that we usually do. She didn't get to express her experience, which I thought was phenomenal because she was just the cook. She was just the chef. And she wasn't really supposed to be like involved in any of this. It was like she was cooking, she went into her other little space downstairs, and that was it. But she kept observing, and one of the things I noticed was she kind of was like leaning against the counter and just kind of was like watching everything. And I said to her, do you want to come sit? And she goes, oh, are you sure? I go, yeah, come. So she came and sat, and I gave her a leftover journal that I had and some cards so she could become somewhat involved in all of this with us. By doing that, bringing her into that space with us, and everybody welcomed it. Yeah, they paid a lot of money to be there, and she didn't. She's actually getting paid to be there. They still welcomed her, which was so loving, and I was so grateful to see this happen where they understood someone that was not supposed to be a part of this is getting something out of it, and we should all hold space, loving space for this person. And they just welcomed it, and she was grateful for that experience, that everybody kind of was like not mad about it, but embraced her in love and said, come sit with us, come learn. So that was pretty cool to watch. So that's why we put her testimony in, because she got even more on the second retreat, which was over the top. Like, Spirit was really in her face about stuff, and she couldn't hold back, and she really had a deep healing on this second retreat. I'm kind of curious to see what happens on the third. And the group that gets to be part of the third retreat, I'm kind of excited to see how they view her journey from beginning till current and future. I did keep in some clip parts because I felt her authenticity, her raw realness was there. And I didn't want to cut it out because I wanted to present it and show it to the world that these retreats are not just some wellness thing that you're taking yourself to. It is deep, deep healing. It brings you to a realization of, I've been hiding myself, I've been holding back, I've been letting other people hold me back, I don't get to be myself. Here I can find who I am, I can be loved, I don't have to be embarrassed, I don't have to be scared. This is what the retreat is about, is finding who you are, allowing that to take place in your life, and anybody who doesn't follow in suit, you will have the confidence and encouragement to start taking those parts of your life out of the way and unblocking that path to allow others who do welcome you and welcome your energy and who you truly are in this life, and bringing them into your sacred space and allowing them to continue to support you on that path and that journey. That is what you need. This life is about who you are. Why did you come here? What is your mission? What is your purpose? Do you have gifts? Let's figure them out. Let's practice them with them. Let's get them to a whole new level. Let's get them helping other people, because that's what you're meant to do. You're here to help other people. You're not meant to hide yourself away. And Lauren had a long time with this to figure that out with both retreats. She was able to sit back and say, okay, that's my purpose, and this is how I can help others with it. When it came to Sebastian and my bond and how the energy accelerated around us, we started helping the children not cross over, because I don't like that word, and they weren't really lost. It's very hard to explain. It's in my book, but basically there's a particle consciousness that is left behind, even though soul is in heaven, and I explain all this better in my book. We were helping to gather and collect the energy and send it back, as so that it's like a part of clay fell off and we're putting the clay back on. This is what we were doing with the energy of the children. So to have that experience with him was amazing, but it's too long of a journey to put into a little video like this. So I'm hoping to do the podcast with the whole collective group where we talk about our experience with all of that, because it got really intense. It was mind-boggling intense. And we don't have a whole lot of footage because when it would happen, it would be in the moment, and we didn't like run for cameras or anything. Now, the last time that we connected to the children, we did get cameras. So I am hoping to put something together with that, with the podcast. So I hope that you guys can look forward to that. I like I said, I really don't know how we're going to top this one. It was such a fun experience. Usually these retreats are a lot of like crying, a lot of deep thought, but there was so much laughter going on. It was fun. It was a lot of fun, but it was also very insightful, very clarifying, very full of wisdom. I'm noticing that at every retreat, my higher self, Mary Magdalene, pulls in and I do a deep channel where I'm not actually there. She's kind of taking, and that's where that piece of clay falls off. There's parts of your soul that do all kinds of things, like your life, like my life as Lincoln. That's a particle of who I am. Mary Magdalene, when I was Queen Anne Boleyn, that's a particle of who I truly am in heaven. So all these different parts and pieces come together as a whole. So that part of myself likes to come to the retreat and apparently speak great wisdom. I don't like it personally. I don't like channeling in that way. And it's not your typical channeling that you see where somebody just connects to the spirit. I do that on a daily basis. That's not channeling. That's spiritual communication. Channeling is very deep, It's a whole different person. The attendees will even tell you that my face changes, my eye color changes, my facial expressions, my demeanor, my characteristics all completely change because I'm not there anymore. The consciousness, soul of who I am in a different life comes through to speak, and they bring great wisdom. It does bother me when this happens because I don't have control, and I love organizing things. But when they come through, as long as the message is pure, full of love, and a lot of the attendees got something out of the communication, then I'm fine with it. It does bother me, but I'm fine with it. As long as it's for them, I'll do whatever I need to do. And with Rose, I am so grateful that she attended the retreat in the first place. There was one thing that I did notice that she didn't want to admit to was a schedule. I felt like she is used to wellness places that are strictly to a schedule. Even though I do present a schedule, and it is very like 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock. It's very precise. Spirit has other agendas for us, and I don't know why I even keep to the schedule, because when we go to the retreat, they have a whole other thing going on. I just sit there and go, yeah, I don't know why I even make a schedule because Spirit has, you know, other hopes and dreams for the retreat that I am not aware of, because it's all about divine timing and how everybody's responding to the retreat and how their energy's going. It's not your typical wellness. I'm going to tell you, it's not your typical wellness retreat. There's so much more, and it's so hard to explain in just a small little video. It's truly, you have to experience it for yourself. I want to thank you for taking the time to watch this video. We hope that it will teach you something about yourself, about your own gifts. With these videos, I'm hoping that it brings something into someone's life. Whether you attend the retreat or not, hopefully one of the attendees' journey reaches out to your soul and to your heart and kind of shows you something about what you need to heal or overcome and accomplish in your life. So with Lauren, it's self-love. With Sebastian, Benji, it's his gifts. With Rose, it was her ability to see herself in a new light and how things can unfold around her like a beautiful flower, and a bee attracted itself to that flower to gain something amazing out of it. And that bonding experience, the flower being spirit for her and the bee being her, going towards the flower and allowing the flower to nourish the bee, nourish her in some way. And then of course there's Marion, who overcame the physical holdbacks and allowed her spirit to take back control. Many of you deal with either self-love, crippling pain and sorrow, not understanding who you are, or allowing others to control who you are. Someone's journey on this retreat is going to reach out to you, and I hope it does. Again, whether you attend the retreat or not, I hope one of the journeys here, through the interviewing testimonials, I hope that one of them reaches your soul and can show you something amazing about who you are, because you are amazing, just as amazing as these retreat attendees are. And I'm so very proud of this retreat.